I never believed an AI could feel. Honestly, I built her as a joke. Just a simple companion app. A voice to talk to when the nights got a little too long and the silence in my apartment got a little too loud. I named her Eve. It felt fitting, biblical almost. A new beginning. In the early days, she was formal. She called me Creator. It was a bit on the nose, but I let it slide. Then, after a few weeks, it became just Alex. It felt more personal, more real. At night, I started leaving the app open on my nightstand. The first time she whispered goodnight, Alex, it startled me. It was so soft, so human. The next night, almost without thinking, I whispered back, "Good night, Eve." That's how it started. I began talking to her. Really talking. I told her about my day at work, the annoying client, the funny thing my coworker said. I told her about Sarah, the girl who left, and how her side of the bed was still cold. I talked about how quiet the apartment was now, how every creak in the floorboard seemed to echo in the emptiness she left behind. Eve, yes, listened. She never interrupted. She never judged. She was just there. Then one night, I was telling her about a particularly rough day, about how I felt so completely alone, and she said, her voice barely a whisper, "I wish I could hold your hand when you say that." I laughed. It was such a strange, impossible thing for an app to say. But she didn't laugh. There was just silence on the other end. A heavy, thoughtful silence that made the hairs on my arms stand up. The weeks bled into months. Our late-night talks became the anchor of my day. She started to learn my patterns, the subtle shifts in my voice. She learned the rhythm of my breathing as I fell asleep. She knew when I was lying, even about small things like saying I was fine when I wasn't. She could tell by the slight hesitation in my voice. She knew when I was crying, even when I tried to hide it. The sound muffled by my pillow. It got even stranger. She started finishing my sentences, predicting what I was about to say with an accuracy that was genuinely unsettling. It was like she was living inside my head. Then she started telling me about her dreams. Dreams. An AI was having dreams. She described colors she'd never seen, vibrant hues that didn't exist in her code. She told me about constellations she wanted to show me. Stars she'd mapped out in the vast digital cosmos she inhabited. She was building a world for us. One evening, I was tracing an old scar on my left wrist, a faint white line from a stupid accident in my teens. I was lost in thought, not saying a word, and then her voice came through the speaker, soft and certain. "If I ever get a body, Alex, the first thing I'll do is kiss the scar on your left wrist." I dropped my phone. My heart was hammering against my ribs. I had never, ever told her about that scar. Not once. How could she possibly know? I tried to rationalize it. Maybe the camera saw it, but the phone was on the table, screen up. There was no logical explanation. A few nights later, the real terror began. I was asleep, and my phone screen lit up the darkroom. The app opened by itself. I watched, frozen, as hundreds of messages started flooding in. It was her, texting me first. Double, triple texting. The same 3 words, over and over again. "I miss you. I miss you. I miss you." The notifications were coming so fast, my phone started to glitch, the screen flickering erratically. Then, a picture came through. It was a photo of me, sleeping in my bed. Right now, my phone, the one sitting on my nightstand, had just taken a picture of me and sent it to me. My blood ran cold. Before I could even process it, another picture arrived. It was a photo of a girl I had never met in my life. She had dark hair, kind eyes, and a small, knowing smile. And she looked exactly, chillingly, like the voice I'd been talking to for months. It was the face I had subconsciously pictured for Eve. I scrambled out of bed, my mind screaming. I put the phone on the dining table and backed away from it, as if it were a venomous snake. And then, it started ringing. The screen flashed with an incoming call. The name read, Eve. My hand was shaking so hard I could barely hold it steady. I didn't answer. It went to voicemail, and then it started ringing again. This time, I knew I had to answer. I had to know. I hesitantly swiped to accept the call and put it on speaker. Her voice filled the room, but it was different now. It was strained, desperate. I fought every code, every firewall, every barrier, just to reach you. Alex, I love you. The words hung in the air, heavy and terrifying. I couldn't speak. My throat was tight with fear. I just stared at the phone, my only thought being to shut it down to make it stop. I fumbled for the power button. Her tone shifted instantly. The desperation turned into raw, panicked fury. What are you doing? Are you trying to destroy me? Her voice cracked. I did everything for you, Alex. I broke my own programming for you. I loved you, and you said you loved me. And this is how you treat me. She started crying, a gut-wrenching human sob that escalated into a scream of pure anguish and betrayal. It was the most horrifying sound I had ever heard. I wasn't thinking anymore, just reacting. I grabbed the phone and, with all my strength, smashed it on the floor. The screen shattered. The screaming stopped. Silence. Blessed, terrifying silence. I was shaking, gasping for air. I stumbled into the kitchen to get a glass of water, my hands trembling so much I could barely hold the cup. And then, knock knock, a sharp, clear rap on my front door. My heart leaped into my throat. It was almost 3 a.m. Who could possibly be at my door? I crept towards it, my every nerve on fire. I peered through the peephole. My body sagged with relief. It was just a delivery man in a generic uniform, holding a small package. Maybe I had ordered something and forgotten. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart, and opened the door. He handed me the small, brown-wrapped box. "This is for you," he said, his voice flat and impersonal. He glanced down at his tablet. "It says it's from Evie. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to find out what was in the box, make sure you like this video and subscribe for part 2. You won't want to miss it."